what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah.
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, move on to treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Hello and welcome into the Friday edition of your show. I am still your busty host, Gary. I use the term busty because I'm pretty sure I put on even more weight than when I was complaining about being 20 pounds overweight. It's getting real bad in here. At least we can call ourselves busty. As well, as far as we know, the only show coming live out of Saskatoon on YouTube, Monday to Friday, 4 to 5 p.m., except if it's a holiday week, as we had one show on Monday, then we took the next 3 days off, and then we're back in here today. We also love to make up categories and say we are number one in those categories. For instance, we are the number one show on YouTube right now that is still being controlled by just a hand. Just a hand. No body, no head, no brain, just a hand. There it is. That hand is named Phenom, and we love him very, very much. We also have the greatest camera in the history of mankind, and that camera is the Maggie Cam. Maggie, put your head up. Margaret, Maggie, old Ben Cano. There you are. Good girl. Now look at the camera. Look the other way. Oh, there's a smile. You can see a little bit of a smile. The Maggie Cam for our fantastic friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. When you walk in those doors, you will be meted by Leroy, Maggie's boyfriend, and he has a bed right beside the door. Once you walk in, Leroy will walk you up to the till, and you'll meet Mike and or Rochelle, and they will give you the greatest service in the history of pet stores. And you can also go there after hours or on the weekends and see Kirsten, Shar, or Chris, and they will continue to give that service that you've come to know and love from our friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer, including the greatest cleaning station in the history of pets. Not just pet stores, but pets, period. It's fantastic network. Ryan went there, said it was unbelievable, and so many other people have gone there because of this very cam. So thank you to Maggie, and thank you to our friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Even when she's out of spot, she's still a little bit in spot, which is pretty darn cool. So we got a Friday round table to roll into the weekend with today. And inside of that round table, we have one half of the viewing room, and we have the whole deal of stripped down. Ladies and gentlemen, it is LB and Curtis Anderson. Can I call you the whole deal? Because I know there's a lot of guys named Real Deal and all that stuff.
I thought you were going to give me the Rob Van Dam whole blanket show. I was really excited.
Mr.
But
Monday
then
Night.
you went PG on me.
I had to.
It's all good.
You know, sometimes you just have to not say what comes to your mind right away and
That is
think a
me all
tiny
day, every
bit.
day.
Yeah,
All day, every day.
It's very hard to do. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm in a weird mood. I'm not
You've
gonna
been
lie.
saying that. You said
It's
that.
been like a week of holidays and eating and drinking and celebrating. And I knew I had to work this morning. I knew it. I was
You
preparing
just
for it
didn't care.
last night, but I woke up this morning and I was like, that can't be right. I couldn't find my laptop, Gary. Like I
Oh,
was late
no.
for work this morning.
Dude.
I was like, which pile of Christmas garbage is my laptop under? I couldn't find it.
I thought your laptop was like your lifeline for work. You
Well,
can't
I have
think
multiple laptops. I've
Oh,
got my
that's-
Mac that I edit
of
with,
course.
and then I've got my work.
My bad. I take it
know.
back, yeah.
And
Okay.
so then I went to work today, and I was like, oh, this is not good. Why did I agree to let everyone else take the time off? And I said I'd come in. It's like my own fault, but still, it was not good. And then I have from there to here to Blades tonight.
Go Blades, go!
Right?
Yeah. Hey, at least
went-
it's not going to affect your performance here in any way.
I went from not working to
Too
like
much.
doing 3 jobs in one day.
Way too much.
I'll try to keep the mood light, Gary, but I'm screaming on the inside. My body's like, where's the chocolate? Where's the 12 hours of sleep, Curtis?
Yeah. You're letting yourself down.
Where's the Jägermeister?
Jaeger bombs. I haven't had a Jaeger bomb. Went way too long. I guess I don't drink anymore, so I can't have Jaeger bomb. There got to be like non-alcoholic Jaeger bomb somewhere. This is just a
Probably.
Red Bull.
Right?
Red Bull with some black liquor in it.
Because see, I read somewhere online that it's like it was originally cough syrup. I don't know if that's true or not, but I use that as justification because I'm like, well, all winter I gotta have like a shot
Little
before
shot.
bed because it's medicine.
That's right.
And every night I'm like, well, I'm gonna have my medicine and go to bed, and my
See,
wife's like, it's not medicine.
you gotta
I'm like, hey, you didn't go down a deep rabbit hole on the internet and found some like Reddit thread that said this was originally cough syrup and then was turned into alcohol.
I think that is I've heard that as well, but I don't want
Was
it
it
to
for
get
me?
I don't want to get it confused with purple drink, the scissor, if you will.
The what?
Where you get the codeine cough syrup and you mix it with Sprite and then you put some Jolly Ranchers in there and it has to be in a styrofoam cup. But all like the rappers drink in the South, it's not good for you. Gives you lots of seizures.
Oh, okay.
Stay off the scissor is the message here. Just want to throw that out there. LB from the viewing room, dude. I thought I said we weren't going to wear the same thing today. You copied my outfit, bro.
I had to.
Actually,
I haven't done
technically,
laundry in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
so.
I was gonna say, Mom dressed you guys the same today.
Oh, the vacation has been good, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a good
Christmas
thing I
holiday?
got socks for Christmas because
Oh, me too.
otherwise I would have been reusing the dirty ones and things might have smelled a bit. So
Yeah, we all appreciate that here. I'm sure, especially our special guest sitting across from us is probably also very happy you do not stink.
yeah,
Just want to put that out there. Tell us about your shirt. What's going on there?
photo prospector.
I love that guy
He's
so much.
one of the greatest YouTubers ever.
Ever.
Um,
The history.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had this shirt for a number of years now, and
Me too, bro. Me too. Check him out. Come along for the ride. The best in the biz.
it's just great kind of short form, videos about random things, and he's super entertaining. So
Funniest dude I've ever met. Smartest dude I've ever met.
Yeah.
And I owe my life to him. I legit do. And I just want to put that out there. We love him, and he is an angel, and we love supporting him
yeah,
whenever we can. So to reveal the truth here, he came in with his. I said, well, now I have to go get mine on again.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and you were actually the trendsetter, and I am the follower. So that's it. Christmas holidays slowly coming to an end. And I don't know about you guys, but I had no Christmas spirit until we went and saw Fireside, which was incredible, and I was full of Christmas spirit. And then Christmas night, I lost it. Just like that. It was so quick and so interesting. And this is how I lost it. So I was loving all the family and all the great times that we got to share. And we went to Mom and Dad's place at the condo, and all the family's over there. And Dad and I went and picked up my Auntie Susie, who was staying with my granny. And we went and got them and then brought them back and had a lovely, lovely visit. And then we went to take them back to Granny's place. And Auntie Susie and Granny both have walkers. And they have like off-road walkers. Like they got the whole walker thing just set perfectly. They know what they're doing.
are like they one of the ones that'll like run you down if you don't move out of the way in the hallway?
Auntie Susie, yes. Auntie Susie, definitely. And Granny not as much because she's just so slow now.
Oh, okay.
It's so hard for her to get
Yeah.
going. But we I guess I say this too. Pickup. The pickup at 4 o'clock. I said 3:45 over at the old folks' home in Stonebridge was mayhem. So
Yeah.
we
Stonebridge at 4. Yeah.
yeah, and so we get in there and we're the first one. Like, hey, this is awesome. And instantly, right after we park and we start to wait for Granny and Auntie Susie to come out, start lining up in the back and in the front. And everybody, you can feel the daggers. Everyone's just staring like, what the hell? Why are you guys taking so long, And I look at Dad, I'm like, I don't know, like, should we just like pull around or something? And he's like, nope, we're good. Just call him. Like, okay, so we call him. And then about 10 minutes later, they come out, and then it takes us another 10 minutes to load them in because we didn't have the stool that Granny needs to step up into the vehicle. So I'm scrambling. Everyone's freaking out. And I'm like, how are we going to get Granny in here? I told her, I'll just lift you, Granny. She goes, no, you can't lift me. I'll break. Like, okay, what do we do? And then I went into like MacGyver mode. It's like one of those fight or flight type of situations. I'm like, okay, we only need something like this big. I walk into the lobby. I look around, and then I see a recycling bin, one of those blue recycling bins about this big. And I look, and I didn't even care at this point. I'm like, no, I'm just going. I take it, dump it, run outside, put it down, hop Granny up, load her in, run it back inside, flip it back over, put all the stuff back in it. And one lady noticed. I said, I'm so sorry. It was an emergency. She said, that's fine, that's fine.
So you recycled your granny on Christmas.
Literally. Yeah, literally. And we had a great visit at the house, and then it was time to bring them back. And after hours, the doors are closed. So you have to either have a key or the passcode to get not just the second doors, but the first doors now. So we pull up again, and the doors, we managed to get them open because Dad had a key. And there was I'm pretty sure she was a nun, but a nun not in her nun outfit. So she's walking up, and I'm trying to be a gentleman as we're hauling Granny in, we're hauling Auntie Susie, and these doors keep trying to close. And I'm sitting there, back against, letting this thing just pound my back. Just boom, like, oh, I was like, come on in, let's go. I'm trying to hold it. And this nun looks at me, she goes, no, what are you doing? It's like, what do you mean, what am I doing? I'm holding the door for you. You can't hold the door like that, it's gonna break. You can't do that. She's giving me the business on Christmas night. I'm like, I don't know what to say. So I'm sorry, I was trying to hold the door for you. She's like, no, you can't. So just let it hit you in the face? Like, that's what you want, is to get destroyed by this door? And she was like, well, no, I would get out of the way. I was like, okay, fine. Whatever, I'm sorry, lady. I'll never hold the door again. I apologize. And as we get through the next door, Auntie Susie and Granny are standing there. And this nun, after just tuning me in, sees me, Susie, Stella, so nice to see you. And just like best friends. I'm like, really? You just come in here and you tune me in front of my auntie and my grandma, and then you're acting like their best friend? Like, what the heck's going on here? And that was when the Christmas spirit left my body. I had it for about 4 days. It was a crazy time, a crazy roller coaster, but man, I got getting tuned in by a lady of the Lord. It's a very interesting thing.
There's a lot to unpack in that story.
I just had to get it out. I had to
quite
get
the
it out
story.
because it was such a journey, man. That whole day was just so much work. Like it's one of the first Christmases where I really like tried to help out with everything. I didn't have anything else to do.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was like, trying to do dishes.
And what
trying
did
to
you
help
learn?
Mom. Christmas is not fun for parents. Christmas is not fun for hosts. Christmas is not fun when you have to be sort of at the level that everyone expects you to be at this time every year. And boy, oh boy, I felt that. Like by the time it was done, I was angry. Like more at myself than anything else because I didn't even enjoy a thing. I was just like in this whirlwind of this shitstorm, and then all of a sudden it was just done. And you're like, oh, what just happened? It's crazy.
But as a parent, you can't fail. 'Cause they're going to remember.
You
You got to step up.
every time.
And yeah, I don't know, man. I love Christmas. I'm the exact opposite.
This is why I wanted to
You
talk
have to get the Christmas spirit beat out of me. Like I start in probably mid-November because we always have our stripped down Christmas party. Like the first week, we have our final taping or our final live show now, I guess, the first week of December. So it's like go time because I got to get all the crew gifts, and we have this big party, and sometimes it's like better than actual Christmas, and it's like a thing. You know, it gets bigger each year. So there's a lot of pressure to nail that night. And then after that, it's all like family, and, you know, I've got a little girl now. And as a second child, I don't know if you guys have older siblings.
I do.
I don't know,
Yes.
my
You
child.
have a younger.
I do. I
Okay,
have two
so you're
older
right in
brothers,
the middle.
one sister. Yeah.
Okay. See, when the first one comes along, man, you're all in. You're all hands, right? Just everything's incredible, and it's the first. And then when you have the second, even if it's 10 years apart, like we had our kids, you're still watching your first have firsts, as the second is having their firsts, but you've already kind of been through that.
Seconds, yeah.
And growing up, I was always like, man, as the younger kid, it's like, wow, look at my older sister's like incredibly detailed baby books and all these things they reference
Yeah.
happening to her that I didn't really get. And as a parent, I was like, oh, that's never going to happen. I'm going to make sure the second one has it as good as the first. So you're working hard. You know, when you're in that mindset, you're like, I can't,
You don't wanna let
even though
yourself
I'm
down.
older now.
Yeah, you don't want to let yourself down, man.
No,
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
I
right.
want her to look back and be like, oh, she had the same opportunities
Yeah.
that he did. So it's, I wouldn't say it's exhausting, but it's on my head, it's on my brain all the time every Christmas where I'm like, hey, everything I did to knock it out of the park with the firstborn, I got to do with the secondborn. Even bigger, maybe. So, but that being said, it's not like a curse for me because, yeah, I've always loved Christmas, just absolutely lived for it. Those have been like the best memories of my childhood. And so I've always like, I want to make sure my kids carry that with them,
Yeah.
you know?
And that's very funny that you say that too, because it's a common theme with older siblings. I always say the first one gets all the attention, the
Yep.
golden child. Second one, they still try, but by the third one, they've already
They've
done
been-
all they
yeah.
can do. So as the third one, I came
Well,
on
the
like,
first
here
and
you
the
go,
second
have
are
fun.
still having their firsts.
Yeah,
right?
man.
You
It's so cool. And like my older brothers, like they couldn't be more polar opposite. Like one is the abrasive, loud, hilarious firefighter, and one is like the very contained, like always thinking, hyper intelligent businessman who like doesn't show any emotions almost. And then there's me, just a shitstorm of all of it. You know?
Yep.
And it's like, and after my parents went through those two journeys, like my oldest one, like insanely good at school, like never had an issue, never gotten any trouble. Then the next one comes up and it's the opposite of that, like
Yeah.
No time for authority, doing your own thing. And then by the time they got to me, mom and dad were just so worn. I was like, do what you want, man.
Yeah,
Let's go. Just stay alive and don't die.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do what I
My
can.
sister was a bit of a handful, so I felt a lot of
Yeah,
that. Where
you
it was
know,
like,
it's-
hey, you're still alive. Good job.
Well done.
Good job.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming home tonight.
Exactly. And then when my sister was born, the only girl, she's the chosen one, right? Because they wanted me to be a girl. So when I came out, it's like, they got to try once more. And it's like, all right, well, we'll just do something with this guy, you know? But it's so cool that my parents actually got everything they wanted with all of us. So
there
and
you
now
go.
we all have a lovely, lovely holiday season. And like, it's so good to be involved and being a part of it, because I wasn't as involved for a while there. So to be back and all in it, it's just nice to help. It's nice to feel like you're doing something. And that was very good. We also got into some movie watching, but we'll wait for that. I want to know how your Christmas went, young man.
It was Christmas, you know. It's pretty.
I wasn't expecting much out of you.
I mean, it is what it is, you know. Christmas is always a super busy time. I mean, you know, you got Fireside, so
Yeah,
like
you do.
I've been singing Christmas carols since September, so it's like
Nice to
whatever,
get through that.
you know. And then my birthday's 2 days before Christmas, so
Oh,
then it's
no.
like, yeah, it's like
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Did you
know?
see the birthday message that Dragon forced us to give you on the air?
I didn't know.
Good. I told him not to. He's like, I said, don't do it. Don't do it. He does it what? He goes, I don't care. I'm like, all right, this is on you.
Yeah,
Happy
well.
birthday, Albie.
Yeah,
It was very funny.
yeah.
Just so you know that I had your back, if that means anything.
I'm not really into my birthday. It's
I
like,
know.
I
We're the
don't,
same
you
way.
know.
We're the same way. You did get socks. You got any other cool gifts?
I got a set of like I've been using my dad's tools for a while,
Of course.
like, well, for my whole life, and his drill is starting to get older, and I've been wanting an impact, so I found
impact drills.
a impact and drill combo, and got that, and then I guess my mom told me that when she was ordering it, it had a free extra tool with it,
Hell
so I got a drill driver combo and a circular saw, so pretty happy with that.
Hold on. How's the circular saw playing? Like, does it go into the drill, or is it like its own separate thing?
It's a whole separate tool, like you
Oh,
know, like
that's
the.
an
And I'm like,
awesome deal,
well,
yeah.
normally when you think of like a free tool, it's like a screwdriver.
That's
or
what I'm
something
saying,
shitty,
that's
right?
why
But
I'm
no, it was
confused.
like a whole ass $200 saw. So yeah,
Maybe some upgrades around the studio.
yeah, right.
It's gonna keep going. Yeah, you
I
have to
don't
rely on
have a
Network
project
Ryan.
for it. I'm like, I want something to do. I want something to build. but
Oh,
I
I'm
don't-
sure you guys will create one around here. You
Yeah, right.
always do.
DIY segment.
Yeah. And then
Literally.
I got a Thor tool kit. So it's
Hell
like Thor's hammer, but it folds out, and then the hammer is like
Is like the
inside it,
tip?
and it's got the actual handle. And
It's kind of awesome.
yeah, it's really sweet. But that's more like, you know, like around the house tools
Yeah.
and stuff. So
What's it? Mjolnir?
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir. I can never pronounce it. Mjolnir.
And then he got his new axe, Stormbreaker. but
Stormbreaker.
we like the OG better.
This will quietly play. And before I get to that, I better do this because we have to let people know how to get a hold of us. If you or anyone you know has any really cool creative ideas or
See if I know where it
organizations or
is.
charities that you want to push out,
See if
or
that's
maybe
it.
shows that you want to start, or anything in between, it's real easy. Just send us a message.
Oh,
you were
Oh,
close.
too high.
You were close.
I'm like, I should know where this is. I put it on the screen.
You literally built this. It's contact@dufferinav.com. That is the email. And we have a website, thanks to our friend Royal Anders. It's just dufferinav.com. It's like the email minus the contact.
It's funny. I'm always
So
laughing at
simple.
you guys for going the wrong way and struggling to
Now
get
do you
this.
get it?
I'm like, now all of a sudden I understand why this is such an issue.
It gets really hard to do. But if you practice, you can make it happen. At dufferinav.com. So speaking of giant hammers, don't be gross, LB. I forced Mom and Dad to watch Violent Night with
Okay, I
me
haven't
on
heard of this
Christmas Eve. Have you seen Violent Night?
No.
As I lean back here so we can look
I
each
was like,
other
is
in
he
the
talking
eyes.
about Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Nope.
No.
Totally different. So Violent Night came out in 2022. And who was it? So if it wasn't, it must have been Dragon that had watched it.
Probably.
Someone here
He's
had
seen
seen
a lot
it.
more movies than I
Yeah,
have.
someone here had seen it, and they highly suggested it. So I tell Mom and Dad that as it's Christmas Eve, and we're looking. Mom wanted to watch A Christmas Carol, but not just anyone. It had to be like the 1953 version with this guy, because there was Christmas Carol was everywhere on the TV, but they were like 38 and like 7, like all these different years, and she needed her exact one.
Okay.
So I say, Mom, instead of that, I was told that we should watch this movie. She goes, okay, fine, we'll give it a chance. And within the first 5 minutes of Violent Night, David Harbour, he's a big famous guy. Anyway, he plays Santa Claus. And he's posted up at the bar, he's crushing beers, and he's all depressed and being Santa Claus and got his sleigh parked up on the roof. So he says, one of the guys tries to buy him another beer. He goes, no, put it on my tab. I'll take care of it. And he goes up and this girl chases him to be like, thank you. And she gets to the roof of the bar and Santa's not there. And she's like, what's going on? So then she runs out the front of the bar onto the street. And then she sees the sleigh. And as she's looking up at the sleigh, Santa goes, ooh, leans off the side and just starts honking and all over this girl. So within the first 5 minutes, Santa Claus is puking for being too drunk while riding his sleigh onto this lady from the bar. And then a couple seconds later, he starts rocking a pee off the side, and it's like, okay, this is my kind of Santa. Now we're cooking.
Did Santa get a ticket for drunk driving a sleigh?
Dude, the reindeer do it. Like, and that's one of the common themes of the whole movie, and every time it's brought up, it's so well done. Like, anytime anyone questions anything, he always goes, Christmas magic. I don't know how it works. Like, always, like, throughout the whole movie, and it's so true. Like, he has his bag, his sack, and you open it, and you can't see anything in it, but if you reach in, you pull something out.
Yeah.
Another one of the themes is, because this was made in 2022, so all the presents. Like, at one point, he's in a fight with these guys because the quick synopsis is there's this rich family, and then a bunch of terrorists come in and take over their like compound, their like family Christmas compound, and they start to try to rob because they have a bunch of money in the basement of the mansion. And Santa's just going in there to deliver some presents because that's what he does. And then all of a sudden he's in the middle of this terrorist hostage situation. He's like, oh God, why me, you know? And so he, with his Christmas magic, he's in this fight with this guy, and he's pulling anything out of his bag so he could fight this guy. He goes, why don't any kids ever ask for swords or, you know, anything that would be helpful right now? And all he's pulling out is gift card, video game, gift card, over and over. He's getting so angry at his sack. And then eventually he takes care of the guy by taking a star off the top of the tree, hitting him right there. And then that still doesn't kill him, though. The guy's like, stands up, he's like, I'm going to still get you. Then Santa's like, wait a minute, plugs the star in, and
Amazing.
that's the first kill of the movie. And then, just to really wrap all this up, he eventually starts talking about how 1,100 years, he's been Santa for 1,100 years. But 1,100 years ago, he was a Viking warrior who carried around a hammer named Skull Crusher. And so at this like vital point of the movie when everything changes, because I was told it's like very gory and very bloody, and up to this point I was like, yeah, whatever, you know. Then at that point when you get this flashback, he's in this maintenance shed, and it's like the sun shining down on this beautiful sledgehammer, and he goes, oh, and he picks it up. He's like, yep. And you could see him, you know, channeling this former Viking warrior, and then he just goes off. It's like, sledgehammer, we're doing this. There's heads flying off. He ties two guys to a couple of laces of a hockey skate, and then throws the laces into a snowblower, finishes them off like that. He has a skate he's using to decapitate. Like, it's just
This
insanity.
is my kind of movie.
You will love it. That's what I'm
gonna
saying.
go watch
So did
this.
your parents appreciate this?
My
as
mom hated it.
Well, yeah, if
She
she was
says it's the
expecting
worst
Miracle on 34th Street.
It's the worst Christmas movie she's ever seen, she said. But shout out to her for just sticking it out and watching it with me, because it was so damn cool. But one of the
The whole
best
time she was thinking, man, I owe it to this guy. Because like his older brothers and younger sister got like the special Christmas treatment. So
I had to give him this one.
2024 is for Gary. I'm gonna sit through this, and then maybe he won't look back so harshly.
It's just, it's so funny. And I'll just say the best kill of the movie. And I won't tell you when or why or how, but just so you have an idea of how cool this thing is.
Please tell me it's the Grinch. Please tell me it's the
No,
Grinch.
there's no Grinch. But he has his Christmas magic that he doesn't understand, but he can go up and down chimneys, right? So he like disappears and goes up and down. And there's one moment where he's fighting for his life, and you don't even realize it's really a chimney, but all of a sudden it sort of forms that he notices it's a chimney. So he grabs the guy, and Christmas magic is up the chimney, and then as you can imagine, he's okay, but all that comes out the other side is just a torso from here and here, bleeding on all sides. It's like very impressive.
That's good. I like
Yeah.
that.
Very
So
campy,
that's
very amazing.
clever. I'm assuming it's not a lower budget sort of thing. Like, it's not a.
It's got John Leguizamo in it, and like some man, dude. And it took me a while to figure this out. My mom and I were both saying, "I know that lady. Beverly D'Angelo. They got a Griswold as one of the lead
Amazing.
characters. She's
Wow.
like the businesswoman who's telling all the terrorists like, you guys are dumb. She's always like a step ahead of
Yeah.
everyone, and she's just tuning everyone in. Griswold is running the damn thing. Like, it's a great movie. 12 out of 10. I'll give you 20 Skull Crushers out of 10 on this one. It's unbelievable. That's my little mini review of Violent Night.
You would have a
Highly
hard time
suggested.
being on viewing room. I think
It's-
everything would be 10 out of 10.
I've never
We've never given it a 10. I don't think we've even given a 9.
We've been over this before. I don't rank things. You can't rank things because you will always upset people. So I always go 10 out of 10, except for the one time I was forced to rank when I was a judge in it was like a band wars, kind of like a band swap sort of thing. And I just went a 10 for the first one, then 100 for the second one, then 1,000 for the third one, then I went infinity for the last one. And I told him, I said, the only reason you're getting an infinity is because you're the last band. Like, I can't not give a bad review. That's why I'll never review anything, because I don't want to make people sad. That's the
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but we're reviewing multi-million-dollar movies,
Yeah,
so
no, you
it's
got-
like...
Make no mistake. When you have a movie review show, you
Yeah.
better be doing that, right? Like, it's not like
Yeah.
I have an obligation to do these things.
Yeah, true.
So, anyways, Christmas presents, young man. How'd you do? How'd you
oh,
make out?
I don't even know where to start. I told the
Is that
story.
many?
I told the story mid-December about how we went to my parents' house to set up the Christmas tree with my daughter.
And you found your old one.
And my mom casually mentions that, like, our old crappy, like, 80s tree that you stick the color coordinated branches into, like a pole, is just like the worst tree. But it
So
was like
good.
when I was little and young, I was like, that
That's
would
your
kick
memory.
Christmas off. We'd get that out of the, like, crawl space and we'd set it up, and that was like all my warm memories. And she was like, it's still in the shed, and I was like, what? So I, against everybody's, like,
That's my favorite part. You just pissed
begging
everyone
me not
off.
to. I was like, I need this. So I'm dragging this dusty, dirty tree back into my parents' living room. And they're like, it's probably going to scratch the hardwood. I'm like, it's definitely going to scratch the hardwood. Like, I don't know what
There's
you
no
want from
problem
me.
there. This is happening.
Right?
This
and
is
so
your
I set
fault.
this thing up. I'm like, it is the biggest Charlie Brown tree. And I put these extra lights on. I go to the tree, like the good tree, and I'm taking all the original, like, 80s ornaments off. And I'm like, no, what's going on this? And everybody's mad at me. And I'm like, no, this is happening. And I'm like, only my present goes under this tree, you guys. No one else deserves it. So
Power move.
my sister watched me do this and was like, this guy's lost his mind. I was like a crazy person, but yet strangely like the happiest I'd been in a long
Yeah.
time, right? So, and I don't know how to say this the right way, because like I don't want to disrespect my sister, but this isn't something she characteristically would have done. She went over and above, and for Christmas she got me this giant box of like my childhood memories.
Whoa.
Like it was like 10 things individually wrapped in this giant box. There was like a He-Man,
Come
a
on.
Transformer.
Why
Oh,
is it
do like
Brando?
comic books
We
and
need
all that
Brando
stuff?
on here.
Yeah,
Oh,
there was
Brandon
like
would lose it.
Spider-Man comics.
Get out.
There was Turtles, which was my favorite, like Christmas chocolate.
Chocolate.
There's sour cream and onion chips. And she was
Oh.
like, I remember when we were kids, I always wanted ketchup and you always wanted sour cream, and mom and dad would always get ketchup. And I was like, I'm glad someone noticed.
Dude.
Like, it's, yeah, right?
So thoughtful.
I know. And again,
Oh
no
my
disrespect to
God.
her, but that was
Yeah.
just like not something that she would normally do. You know what I mean? But she
Yes.
went like not
Christmas
one extra
miracle.
mile, but like, yeah, literally. And I was really touched.
it.
And it was like the coolest Christmas I've had in a long time, because like somebody really made the effort, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah,
Hell
it was
yeah.
it was really cool. So yeah,
I love stuff like that.
I know.
That's
So
very nice.
I'm in a good place.
Good for you.
That was good. So she took my insanity of the original Christmas tree and ran with it. And yeah, and I got to open that under that tree, and I was just like, you know, it was Christmas
See?
for me.
And that's what it's all about, right? For someone who is really into Christmas.
Yeah.
It's hard to please someone who's already so Christmasified, you know? Like,
Well,
it doesn't matter what you do.
and-
You're just so grateful and happy all the time. It's like, how are you supposed to give a present that'll, like, stop you in your tracks? And that's what happened to you.
And I said to her too, and it's hard to say this without any sort of tone, but it's like that's always me going the extra mile,
Yeah.
getting the like really thinking about what someone wants and listening to conversations they have in like July, like the
Right here.
Phenom, he got a record player.
Hold on. So tell us what you think of it. Let's see it. Phenom, you like it? Ah, he loves it. That's awesome.
And so back in like July, we were playing cards, and I was like, "What's your favorite album?" Just like making small talk while we're screwing around playing cards, and he told me, and so that was like I had ordered the record off Amazon by like September, and then we got this little record player for him. He got a record player and his favorite album, and you know, stuff like that. So when somebody actually did that for me, I was like, "Huh,
This is how it feels.
yeah." And again, no tone. I don't expect
No.
it, but I was just like, "Man, like." I got Curtis this Christmas, and it was amazing because it was so unexpected. And so
Did you? Are we allowed to know what album it was?
I don't know if
It
he
sounds
wants
like a
to- I
super
don't know.
secret.
I don't know.
No, he's saying mystery. Okay.
Okay, mystery.
That's fair.
He's
He's also
I don't,
a hand and can't talk.
I don't want to give away the hand's secrets.
That's fair.
What would a hand listen to though? Quick, there seems like there's got to be some punchline here. What's a hand band?
A hand.
Right?
Hand band.
There's got to be like a band
Katrina
with a name.
and the Waves.
Oh,
See?
Pulled
There's
that
gotta
out of
be a name.
nowhere.
that was very impressive.
That was See, that was unrehearsed.
Man, see now that's going to be all I'm thinking
Right.
about. Instead, I should be focused on guiding this ship. That is your show, the Friday edition, hanging out with the co-host of the viewing room. His name is LB, the full host. I'm trying to think of a normal way to say when it's just one host. I was stripped down.
Well, it's
His name is
Caitlin and
the host?
I.
What's that?
The host.
Or the host. I guess that's not very fun though. But I guess that's the host of Stripped Down, as not to be confused with the social media host, who is Caitlin, who was
here
here, which
last
is
time,
awesome.
yeah.
That was so good to finally get to meet her.
She came in a snowstorm, which was amazing because she lives like
Yeah,
5
very
houses
close.
down from
It's
you,
so
which we found out.
We have so many people that live in this neighborhood that have done the same thing. Like our first interview with the 3 Hall guys, one of them lives across the street from me.
Yeah.
Like he literally walked across the street. And then we have a couple people who live about 2 blocks down there. Uncle Grandma's got a friend where he goes to play darts who lives just on the other side of this intersection. Like so many people are just in this neighborhood.
Well, I come
Very
all the way
cool.
from Lawson, so
Yeah, you
that's
got a long
how,
drive.
That's how much I care.
Very
This
long
drive to be
drive.
here.
We always appreciate it as this little family of ours continues to grow and we have a lot of fun. I want to stick with the Christmas movies for a bit because, again, movie guy. Christmas Vacation. I think our total watches this year was about 4. 4 different times over like 5 days where we watched Christmas Vacation. And every time, it's still so good. Even when, and I don't know if this makes, and this is what I want to ask you guys, is this a statement for how good the movie is? That you can have every single person in the house quoting every line and it's still enjoyable? Like it never gets annoying when someone quotes a line because you already know it? Like, is that a statement on a great movie, or is that just like?
I wouldn't say
whatever?
necessarily great because is it like a? It's not like it's a fantastic movie in terms of like its writing.
You
or
guys
its
did- I
plot
forgot
or
you guys did
anything,
rate it,
right?
yes.
So it's not like it's a standout movie in terms of anything technical about it. But then you just have those movies that are just so like it's cult classics, right? So I would say there's something about it. If you can write a movie that becomes a cult classic, but I don't even think it's anything intentional. I think it's just something that happens and you have no control over it. So I wouldn't say it's specifically the movie, more as just it just happened. Like you just got the luck of the draw,
natural,
you know?
yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
Christmas content in general gets a little bit of a free
Yeah.
ride because when you're at that age
Yeah.
and you're already excited for Christmas and then you watch something a few weeks before Christmas, I mean, you
Gets you
remember that
amped
for the
up.
rest of your life.
Mhm.
And I can't remember if I talked about this last time too, but when you're a kid and you're waiting for Christmas, you're counting down the days, especially when school stops and you've got like those 4 or 5
Oh,
days
yeah.
before Christmas, you
Between-
have no idea what to do with yourself.
Yeah.
So you just watch TV.
Yeah.
You know, like I can remember seeing The Grinch and like Flintstones Christmas episode and all this avalanche of Christmas movies that I still watch, like Christmas cartoons to this day, because it's like that's my lead up to
that's it.
Christmas. I watch Frosty and Frosty Returns and Rudolph and Santa Claus is coming to
There's
town.
so
Like it was
many.
just like that's amazing.
See, and I had no idea. Like my mom was like, I watch this one every year. That 1950s.
That's what I was gonna say.
version.
So
Yeah.
much of Christmas is tradition, right?
That's a great
and
point.
so
That's it
like
right there.
you
Yeah.
you bring in a movie that everybody likes, and all of a sudden it becomes a tradition because a lot of Christmas is being together, and so sometimes finding a movie that everybody wants to watch is difficult. So yeah, I think that's part of it too, is tradition.
Very
Home
good
Alone.
point.
Yeah, Home Alone.
Is Home
Christmas.
Alone a good movie? I would say no. Is it
No.
one of the greatest movies of all time as well? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like because of tradition and
Yes.
because you were young when you saw it and you were like, holy crap, I could be this kid. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
Like this is hitting everything it needs
Family
to
Guy
hit.
spoof is still the best.
It
though.
hits every note it
Family
needs
Guy
to hit in December as
Absolutely.
you're gearing up for Christmas.
And in case you're still wondering whether you should watch Violent Night or not, there is a good nod to Home Alone. Like they literally
Okay.
use the movie name. The girl says, "Should I set up traps like in Home Alone?" And says Claus like, "Yeah, that sounds like a good plan." And it goes exactly how you'd expect it to go in this situation. Like, it's
Except a lot more
unbelievable.
violent and
That's
gory
what
than
I
Home
mean.
Alone.
That's what I mean. It's
Serious
everything you
question
want it
though,
to be.
movie guy. Would Home Alone have worked if it wasn't set at Christmas?
Oh,
Great
Would it have
question.
had the impact?
It depends if it's another holiday. Like if you did it
No.
on Halloween,
No.
like it
No
generally would-
holiday, just a
'cause
random.
They
Just a
go on
random day?
vacation and forget their kid,
not as much.
right?
Like I think it'd still be popular, but again, it's the tradition.
It's the tradition.
Yeah.
Nobody would be like, "Oh, it's March 15th. I gotta watch Home Alone."
Yeah, exactly.
But it's one of those movies that everybody remembers,
Yeah.
everybody loves, and it's safe to put on and
Yeah.
watch for the whole family before Christmas.
But like if you did a Halloween version, it would be more of like a horror, and you could
Yeah.
totally get away with it. But yeah.
That's a very, very deep statement. I remember the first time I ever saw Home Alone was in the theater.
That's
I was in the
crazy.
theater at Capitol 4
Yes.
back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went with the boys. And I was like, man, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen. Like, it blew my mind how good it was.
When you're young, you just like,
Yeah,
it's-
I was
there's
like-
no downtime in the thing. It's
That's
just
it.
like,
Nonstop.
Yeah.
I was like grade 3, I think, or grade 4,
Yeah.
and I have a very vivid memory of me doing the Kevin McAllister knee slide in the middle of class, telling everyone, "Do you remember the part when Kevin did this?" And run to a knee slide. And like, oh, that's so cool.
and everybody did.
yeah.
was
They
like,
actually they
yeah.
thought I was dumb. They're like,
Oh.
"What are you talking about?" Like, you guys were there. Don't shame me like this. But man, when you have those moments where you can remember those and seeing it in the theater, another one I remember seeing there was Waterworld. I always felt so bad for the movie Waterworld just for the treatment that it got.
Yeah.
Because as a kid who just like went in, my godfather, the great late Don McKinley, who I love and miss so much, he took me and his kids, Tom and Neely, and we all went in there. And I was blown away. I was like, this movie's awesome. And then all of a sudden, as I got older, it's like everybody hated Waterworld. I'm like, why did everyone hate it so much? And it turns out, apparently, it's not that good of a movie. I just didn't know because I was a kid.
Yeah.
You don't know any better.
Well, didn't the director like quit halfway through?
I don't know.
there
I
was
don't know.
there's so many
it
issues.
sank. The whole set sank, and
The
then like the
budget-
good director left
Yeah.
about two-thirds of the way,
There's
and
a
then I think
wild story
Costner
there.
just directed the last
Yeah.
part, and you can definitely tell pretty much the exact scene the director
Takes
left.
over.
Yeah.
And Costner's like, "I got this." Costner didn't have it.
Oh man, yeah, like that story alone, like just apparently their budget like quadrupled from when they started because of all the stuff. Like it's just that's what you guys should review.
It's funny the number of movies when we talk about the budget and we're like, yeah, it initially had a budget of $3 million, and then by the end it was $103 million because they just kept.
Oh man, we gotta.
Investors.
If you have to keep putting money into it, here's a little thing we like to call a clue that it's not gonna work.
Oh, don't tell movie people they can't do something, right? That's what I
Yeah.
learned there. I would really love to see you guys do Waterworld.
Okay.
Like the just listening to Dragon list off all of like the facts from it would
Yeah.
be an episode itself.
I'd
Oh, yeah.
love to
Right.
see an adult watch Waterworld for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it, so.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. They do have a really cool thing at Universal Studios.
They do. I've seen it.
I've been there
Look,
twice now.
there's a
I've been there
thumbs up
twice
there.
now. Yep, it's
There's a
freaking
thumbs up there.
amazing. Yep, so good. And you get sprayed hard.
Yeah, we just saw that in November.
so awesome.
When
Yeah,
we
I
were
was
in
there last
we were in
year.
California, and we saw the one in. No, there's not.
Yeah,
one in
there
Florida.
was.
Is there one in
I saw
Florida?
because I saw the one in Orlando first, like way
Yeah.
back in like
Yeah, there
like
is.
early '90s, and I
Yeah.
remembered it.
Yeah.
And then I went I went to California for the first time, Universal Studios there, and I was like, no way. Is this the same thing? And I knew everything that was happening. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, here comes the plane now, and here comes the big jump, and here's the explosion. You can feel the heat, and the water's coming up. It was awesome.
We're actually getting a Universal in Canada. They bought West End Mall for like $7 billion.
true? That is
Yeah.
true? Okay,
They bought
breaking
West
news.
End, they bought West End Mall for like $7 billion, and they're doing like a Universal Studio, like a Universal World sort of thing
What
in
happened to
Canada.
the deal with Hasbro?
Yeah, they're like ripping down like half of the mall.
Wow.
Like almost everything is going. And yeah.
So it's not going to be a mall anymore? It's going to be a
No.
Universal Studios?
Really?
I think that's pretty freaking sweet. Do we like
I-
that? I feel like that would be
I
awesome.
know, honestly, yeah. Like I mean, I've been to the West End Mall a few times, and it's pretty underwhelming, right?
Now
like
it
you
is,
think,
yeah.
you think like
I could not disagree more. But continue.
it's like
We're all
I
that
don't know.
kind of
It's
thing.
just kind of
No,
like
no.
you get in there, and it's like you're expecting this like big, super hyped experience, and like I mean, when I was a kid, I remember thinking it was cool, but like then I went back, and I'm like, this is like, Midtown a little bit on steroids. It was just kind of boring for me.
See, for me, West Edmonton Mall is like February break when you're like, we need to do something, and you go there, and if you have kids, you're like, I can park here, and I don't have to leave here for 4
Amazing.
days because you can stay there, and if you stay there, you get discounts, and you can go like swimming one day, and you can go to the Hasbro amusement park one day, and you can go skating one day, and you can see a movie, and you don't
Don't
have
forget mini golf.
to leave. You don't have to leave. And that,
The one
as a
thing-
parent, I'm like, yes, more of this, please. More of one park, leave 4 days later, and have this huge, like, run the gambit of, like you said,
All those things.
shopping and, like,
The one thing
I
I,
know
like
exactly
is the
what-
go-kart track.
Oh, the go-karts.
The go-karts are
They still have the
so-
go-karts?
Yeah, it's.
do?
I was there 2 summers ago.
Nice. I thought you were
And,
going to say
it
the
was-
gun range.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
I don't think it's there
I
anymore.
don't think it's there
My
anymore.
brothers always
If
used to
they
go to
did,
the
I
gun
would have
range.
loved to have
That's
gone.
what I'm-
You know,
that's
right?
where I
Like,
thought you
but-
were going.
No.
My whole thing is do not get rid of Fantasyland, man. I need that monster truck room. I haven't been back there yet. I want to stay one more time in the monster truck room.
yep.
Love that room. Are they gonna?
Right?
Do you know about the hotel? Or are they gonna?
Yeah, there's a
I don't know.
different theme every single
It wasn't in the
level.
hotel, so
Yeah, that was so sweet. They had like the
We stayed in the
Athens.
Polynesian room.
There you go.
A
yeah.
year ago. Yeah.
So good. I used to always want to stay in those rooms.
Yeah.
They had like the futuristic
The
one,
Hot
and like the
Wheels one?
volcano one. Yeah.
There's
So-
like a Frozen ripoff one because they can't call it Frozen. It's like Ice Queen.
Kind of cold.
Yeah.
Who was just there? Not to, KD. The
Yeah.
great KD, Kurt Dahl, drummer lawyer from One Bad Son. He was in there with his family. He got one of the really cool rooms. It was like a pimped out, I think a futuristic one. And he like did a little video like cribs tour of it. It was very cool.
Wow.
Shout out
That's
to
fun.
KD, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. So I wonder, man, so does that mean we're not going to have any mall to go to for a couple of years while they build?
I don't know what the timeline is. Like, and it wasn't very big news. Like, I mean,
Man,
like
I-
nobody had any huge headlines about it. Like, I would have thought that would have been big news
Yeah.
because like it's like a Disney World coming to Canada. Like, you know, like
It's really big.
yeah, but
And I had our friend Aiden from Pulse Power with Aiden. She actually was telling me that they were shutting the mall down. So she was going there before they shut it down.
Yeah.
I was like,
What?
I can't find any information. I'm like, are you sure?
No.
She's like, yeah, my friends told me. So she
Yeah.
went there, had a nice little time, then came back and then figured out that, no, that's not exactly what was happening, but that what you said, like this universal thing. So there was still something. It was just miscommunicated,
Yeah.
which is very strange to me. But it should be like national news.
yeah, you'd think so.
Biggest, what wasn't it the biggest mall in the world?
No, it's
Not
not.
quite?
I mean,
The
you've
biggest
still
mall
got
in
Minnesota?
like
Canada, isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah, Canada.
because
for
you still
sure.
got Eaton Center and ones in Toronto and whatnot.
They're bigger?
I'm pretty sure. I
I'm
could be
not-
wrong.
I'm
but
no mall expert.
No.
I don't know. I still don't think it's the biggest. I could be wrong though. I'm not an expert.
What's
on
the
it
one in
either.
Minnesota? Where they had the first Nitro? Remember that?
Oh,
Lex
Mall
Luthor?
of America?
Yeah, the Mall of America. I think
Speaking
that was
of
the biggest.
wrestling, to go
There we
back to
go.
Waterworld for a second, the first time I saw the live Waterworld thing, I was like, why does the bad guy look so familiar? It was Christopher Daniels.
Come on.
I'm not joking. It was Christopher
Fallen
Daniels.
Angel? The Fallen Angel?
Christopher
Daniels?
Daniels,
Isn't
yeah.
he like a... He's like
like
some
a
sort of
trainer
authority.
or something
He's
now,
like
I think,
authority
yeah.
figure in AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was the guy.
Fallen Angel.
I know.
That's so cool. I think, well, when we were there, I guess it would have been 2 years ago now, in California, it was a guy who was on the show. I think it was Lost.
Yeah, okay.
He was one of the Lost guys, like one of the bad guys. Is bald and like looks super, super scary. I don't know. I've never really seen any Lost, but that was like the big because they always say this guy from this show
yeah,
or
yeah,
this
yeah,
movie.
yep.
Yeah. So it was like this guy from this thing. I was like, oh, that's very cool.
But I remember getting home and I was so excited. I was like, I saw Waterworld live and it had a pro wrestler. And man, that's a target audience that would find that
Perfect.
cool.
Hell yeah.
I had a lot of sad looks back at me, and I was like, yeah, I guess that's two things that really aren't that popular.
That's fair. Hey, we got any wrestling coming through soon?
Did what?
Do we have any wrestling coming through here in the new year soon? or is it wait for-
I probably.
I hate to put you on the spot. I
No,
know.
no, and I should know this, but the PPW had their holiday show in December, and I wasn't there. And they have one a month, don't they?
I don't know.
I
I've
should
been
be on top of this.
since I've started working here and doing this thing, I'm like lost touch with
Right.
everything outside of my life, and I don't like it. But if I try to keep up with anything, it just takes a spot of something that I should be doing that's more important. So
Right.
my crazy, chaotic brain keeps sort of like cycling through all these things that need to be done every day. And I end up forgetting about my passions like indie wrestling and really cool shit that I should be paying more attention to.
You, me, and Colton, we got to go.
We're going.
We got to
We're gonna
go.
have more. We're gonna get a whole damn
I used
team
to
in
see
there.
Colton. I used to see Colton in all of them. I
Yeah.
haven't seen him in any.
He hasn't been in any. He's very introverted,
Well,
as am I.
but it's live wrestling.
That's it. Hey, Big C, we love you, buddy. I'm still trying to get him in here with Arnie.
Yeah.
So that would be very, very cool. Okay, so we've talked about that. I want to get a little bit into here for the last couple of minutes before we roll into the weekend, hanging out with one half of the viewing room. He is LB, the host of Strip Down, right over there. Curtis Anderson, also the father of the Phenom, who was on the ones and twos today. Say hello, Phenom. There he is. Look at that. Very, very beautiful.
And in summer, he was 18 when we went to West Edmonton Mall, so he got to buy me some drinks.
What'd you get? What do you get?
Coronas, they were on sale. And okay, you'll appreciate this.
Okay.
She brings out a Corona, couple Coronas, and it's got the little lime on top. So I pushed down with my thumb and turned over. Then I was like, oh, did I just date myself? Do people still do that? Like, I think that's what you did in like 1999. And I was so embarrassed. And the waitress, who was probably like 25, looked at me and I was like, is that what you still do? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, that's because I'm young and hip and I know how to drink
I was gonna
Coronas.
Say, like, how would anyone look at that and say you're not supposed to do that? I thought that was the only. I guess we're similar in the ways of like, I
don't.
Man, we had one of my.
I was like, this is what I did at Whiskey Jack's.
I did this one in between Pretty Woman.
Right.
Sorry, I had a Roy Orbison kick
Sorry,
there for
go
a bit.
on.
My two not sons, we went to, last time I was at West Ed, was for my birthday and his birthday. So his birthday's on April 27th and mine's on the 28th.
Oh.
So we got to the mall on the 27th. And so we waited till after, or on the 26th, and we were at the old spaghetti factory.
Yep.
Getting some spaghetti, and had just passed over. So he, the 18-year-old not son, became, or 17 because drinking age is 18, whatever it is. He became legal while we were there at that time because we were waiting to go watch the new Marvel movie in the theater. It was like a 1 a.m. screening or something. So while we're waiting, we're here having the drinks and eating. And we're like, all right, buddy, you're legal now. What are you going to order? What's it going to be? And the dude orders a Bellini. A Bellini. Now, if you don't know what a Bellini is,
I don't.
This is like a peach Bellini. It's like a ice drink with like peach and ice and whatever the leany is. I'm sure that's the alcohol part of it. But it was like a very delicious drink.
So he was a girl drink drunk.
That's pretty much where
those
we're
are the
going.
dangerous ones where you can't really taste the
Yeah,
alcohol,
That's the
right?
worst.
Like,
Man, our baseball team, the Rhinos, had a Bellini night. And after a big win, the boys all went to the bar and all they ordered was Bellinis. And that was the most hungover group of dudes you've ever met the next day, but so much fun while you're in it. That Bellini storm, great at the time, horrible the next day.
See, I just turned 19, so I went
Yes, you
and
did.
I
I'm
went
excited.
to the liquor store today. Actually,
hold on, before you say anything else, and I forgot to ask you this, and I'm so upset at myself. Before you turned, you said to your father, because he asked you, what do you want for your first drink? And you said, surprise me.
Well, not first drink, but my first
Come on,
legal
we're
drink.
on camera, dude. Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, legal drink. What did he go with?
He went with B52 shot.
Tell us more about the B52.
So it's Kahlua
Oh boy, okay, that's
with
easy.
a bit of Bailey,
Easy.
and then Grand Marnier on the top.
That
And it's
sounds
like
lovely.
layered.
Yeah.
It was actually really
that
good.
sounds like a delightful treat.
when he added the Grand Marnier, I'm like,
Are you sure?
are you sure? And I'm trying to like, this is actually really good.
Don't ever question Dr. Red. That's what I
yeah,
learned a long time
and then we did rum
ago.
and coke. So
Oh, nice, a classic.
yeah,
Do you like the rum and coke?
yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's a very good drink.
Yeah.
Shout out to your dad, one of the greatest humans I've ever met, and your mom. It was so cool to sit behind them at the, and your beautiful girlfriend as well.
Yeah.
At Fireside, we got to cheer you on. It was very. I felt like I was in the family and friends section. Me and Dragon
You're in
sitting
the
there.
VIP.
Yeah,
we were
right.
sitting,
Nice.
like we were rosette, like we were right in the back far
Yes.
corner.
Yeah.
So like we both had like a chair and then chairs in between us because we had so much room. So we're like, LB, and we were like.
No, it was
along.
sold out. You didn't have any room.
Totally sold out. They played Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah, we did some Gordon
A
Lightfoot.
winter's night. They did Piano Man.
Yep.
It was unbelievable. Like, it was my first Fireside, and it was very, very humorous to me too when I saw the family on Sunday, and Mom and my sister and a bunch of other family members went on the Friday night. So I went on the Saturday night, and then on the Sunday we both talked about it, and just gushing, like so full of Christmas love, and so like, oh, your friend did so well. He was so good. They're talking about Megan's, like, oh, Megan's incredible. And then the pianist guy, where was he
Thomas
from?
Yu?
Yeah.
He's originally from Saskatoon.
Okay.
And now he lives in Calgary. You know what? I didn't realize. You think he's like a professional musician and everything? He is a what is it? It's like some dentist doctor. Like
A dentist?
no, it's not a dentist, but it's
Oral surgeon?
No, it's not an oral surgeon. It's like it starts with a PH.
God.
All I can think of is paleontologist, but that's not right. It's Anyway, some like highly educated, super,
Yeah.
and he has a piano in his office so that when he's not doing whatever he's doing,
He can just go
he's
rip.
practicing.
Yeah.
I'm like, some people just achieve too much with
That's
their
A lot
lives.
of ivory.
Like,
And man, the stage presence on that dude.
Yeah,
Like the
like
way he
he's-
demanded the audience. Demanded the audience.
Commanded?
Commanded the
yeah,
audience.
yeah, it's
He was incredible. He was doing the stand up. He was going. Like I thought he was like someone from around the world who would.
Well,
like,
he has. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
that's
Is
okay.
he works full time, but then
he's
he
one of
also
us.
wins like international competitions and everything. Like
What about the trumpeter and the saxophone?
Guy Few and Alan Harrington. Yeah,
Yes.
they're also originally from here.
Okay,
and
that's
now
so
they're
cool.
off doing professional
Of
musician
course.
things.
They
but-
did a dueling battle basically with the trumpet and the saxophone.
the carnival.
Like it's like you're talking like guitar shredding solos,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
on mouth instruments.
Yeah.
Like it was unbelievable.
And see, Alan was sick the first night, so Guy just went out there and played the whole song by himself.
How?
Like, well, that's
do you-
like that's why they're professional musicians.
guess
You know,
that's
it's
exactly
like it's
why.
insane.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on your break now from Fireside, hey?
Yeah, for a couple
Till-
weeks.
And
Yeah.
then March. When's the?
We don't know what the spring show was.
Okay.
We were going to do a musical and we didn't get the rights because a professional show was doing it. So that's going to be
Classic.
for 2026 is the plan.
Okay.
And so I'm not sure what the plan for the spring show is. There'll be something, but
That's very cool.
Yeah.
One more for you. How hard is it to do wardrobe changes when there's 98 people on a stage?
it's not that
seems
bad,
like it's
really.
chaotic.
Like, I mean, everybody. The backstage is huge.
I
I mean,
guess,
at
yeah, I haven't
TCU,
been
right?
back,
Like, and so really, it's just a matter of being organized and
Remember
knowing
where
what's
your
next.
stuff is, yeah.
You know, like, and
Okay. Not as good of a
Yeah.
question as I thought it was in my head. That's understandable.
And it used to be a lot worse. Like we used to do like full changes. Like we had like a nativity scene, and then we'd be
My mama
changing
said you guys used to
everything.
have it, yeah.
Oh, I hated that scene. Hated it. It's the only one that I almost ever passed out on. Like it's
We
just
were watching one of the big ones from like a New York cathedral, something like huge. And they had like the full like 200 person choir, and they
Yeah.
had the nativity scene in the front. My mom goes, "Oh, Fireside did that not too long ago." I was like, "Oh, I bet
Yeah.
LB loved that."
it was because it's one of those ones where like you have to stand rock still.
Yeah, you're not moving.
And like I remember we used to have the three wise men, and two of them would be kneeling, right? And so they had these like professional grade knee pads that they'd be wearing under their costumes because like
so
otherwise
long.
you can't do it. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Stripped down in the new year. I heard we're looking for that live studio audience. Is that still a deal? Are we still doing
Yeah,
that?
I think so. We joke about stuff, and then we have to do it because
Mm-hmm.
that's the whole nature and feel of the show. So I just emailed a musician who I can't reveal yet. I was like, "We still on for late
Ooh.
January?" and didn't tell him that we're gonna bring like 10 people in because that's literally all you'll be able to.
Room.
We'll put a couple round tables behind the cameras, and that's where some people will sit.
That's perfect. And,
And,
we can bring some of your damn family.
You come.
Is that okay?
It'd be great. Yeah.
Is it okay?
And then I
if
might give Caitlin a wireless, and she can go into the crowd for them to ask questions. So it'll be like extra
Yes.
interactive. And
I love that. Am I allowed to take some medicine before I go?
you can do whatever you want.
Fantastic. I took some medicine before Fireside, and it blew my mind.
Okay, there you go.
The absolute best. So I think it's best for everybody.
Sure.
If we really explore.
You should bring
Our
Colton.
minds.
He's one of the founding
I
fathers
was
of
going to
Strip
say,
Down.
he was one of the guys.
He
You
was
think
the
he'll wanna-
OG. He
you
was
think-
like literally the first person when I was like, I'm doing a music show. I need a guy to mix audio, and he was like,
Hell yeah, brother. Hell
like,
yeah, brother.
I'll stay for 1 and 2, and he stayed till like episode 70.
He's so sweet.
Right?
Yeah, we'll see if we can get him in. Oh no, look what I did. Don't mind me as I continue to put my headpiece.
We'll
That's what I
just
love
take his
about these
word
things.
for that. We got some song going. If you're pitching to that, he
It's
wouldn't
all
lie
good.
to us.
It's all good. See, my thing with this, and again,
He's
shout
gonna
out
play
to
some hardcore rap or
Cassan-
something. We won't know. We'll just be like,
shout out to Cassandra, the team at Sound Hearing Impressions, because I had this all tuned up and tuned in, and then I've been using it too much. So now it's like it gets out of place way too often because I'm always using it, and then I'm always just jamming it in a rush to end the show. So I'm gonna have to tape it or something, as I love these things so much. And the other biggest problem is once it gets in, I forget it's in there, so I'm always yanking it out, and I pull it out with it staying. It's the whole
Oh.
thing. Too good is the problem as we get set to roll into the weekend. Phenom, what do you say? Should we get a little Frankie's rolling? There it is. That's good. That's a good Frankie's right there. Oh, and look at you. Hey, you just turned the volume down? Ah, see, I love this. My dad complains one time. He goes, "You know, son, the ending there is a little bit loud. I'm gonna have to might have turned down a bit. I said, I'll pass it along, Dad. And we did, and now we're paying attention to it. I love it.
Nice.
I love how that works.
I feel like Thomas, you up here.
Nailed it! Yes!
Throwback to like a minute ago. It's not that impressive.
Dude,
thank you.
We all love pianist humor. You know that.
Right?
Amazing
I'm a
stuff.
huge pianist.
Huge. It shouldn't be funny anymore. Like, it should have stopped being funny when we were like 15. But for some reason, the term, not just
Still
the
always
name,
funny.
the term pianist is a hilarious thing that's accepted everywhere. Hey, the viewing room, be sure to check it out. What's coming up?
We'll be doing Up.
Oh, not the emotions. I don't want
no.
the
Yeah.
emotions. Gosh,
Ring in the
dang
new
it.
year with that. So
Tears.
Sad New Year to
God.
everyone.
God.
well, Ethan got me that 100 movie
It's so
poster
cool. I wish we should
for our Christmas episode there where we exchanged gifts.
The coolest.
And so we're like, oh, we got to do something off of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's pretty awesome. So
Why?
that coming up, Strip Down coming up. We will be back Monday. We got a Monday show. And we also have our New Year's Spectacular at 11 p.m. instead of 4 p.m. on Tuesday,
What?
which is New Year's Eve. Yeah, you coming?
Yeah, we're gonna ring in the new
We're
year.
ringing in the New
What?
Year. Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
11 p.m. to a little after midnight. We're going to have a countdown and everything. You're invited. Everyone in our family's invited.
Okay.
So you can squeeze it in. Come and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I was going to say it's a busy week, which it was, but not really in here, which is kind of nice. We had a Monday show. We had a Friday show. And now we roll into the weekend. To my buddy John Fast, incredible author. He's been here on the Tuesday and the Thursday that we had off, and we've been starting on a really cool project. To him, thank you for making this place so awesome and so full of happiness and laughs and love. And to you, thank you so much for, again, being a part of this incredible thing that we've started here, and I look forward to an even more incredible 2025. But before we get there, we're going to ring it in together. So you have yourself an incredible weekend. We'll see you on Monday at 4 p.m. And thank you to everybody over the holidays who did a lot of great, cool things. Remember,
Come to the
karma,
Blades game tonight.
So very real.
too.
Go to the Blades game. Do good things, and
going.
it'll start happening to you. I promise. Go Blades.